war started. They protected me. Took better care of me than humans would have.
They're not people, Maya. It's just programming.
10 years ago today, the artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead in Los Angeles. This is a fight for our very existence.
Sergeant Taylor, we are this close to winning the war. But the AI are developing a super weapon. Retrieve it, or they win.
Did you locate the weapon? Yeah, it's just a kid.
Are you going to heaven?
No. You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
So we're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person.
Do you have any idea what the thing is?
She looks like a little girl now, but she's growing. Whoever has that kid wins the war.
Whose side you want, huh?
What do you want, sweetie?
For robots to be free.
Oh, we don't have that in the fridge. How about ice cream?
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for The Creator in theaters right now. See why it is one of my biggest entertainment picks of recent years, especially in sci-fi. And this guy that you see on the screen right now, I am so excited, so delighted. Andrew, I can't tell you how I am. I'm bursting at the seams because, as I mentioned earlier, this is, I want to say it's in my top 3, but I'll argue it's in the top 5 of my favorite sci-fi films of all time. I really, really enjoyed this film. It's so good. And to talk with you is such a pleasure. Thank you for your time today, man.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Yeah, it's in my top 5 and it's not 5. So I agree. Yeah, thank you so much. Good to be here with you.
Man, I could talk your ear off, but I know we have a little bit of time. But I was doing my research. They are honored to have you. Let me just say, you are Emmy Award winning. You have been killing it. You've done some of my favorite projects, but they have you. And I was checking out your IG to just see more of like how this process came. And
Thank
one
you.
quote that like really rings to mind that you said in another interview to just lead us into what you gave to the creator is, in prep, you write the recipe. In production, you gather the ingredients, and in post, you cook the meal. That hit me as a filmmaker. Tell me, doing that on The Creator, getting involved with this project that you just absolutely killed, bro.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that quote is the awesome Fraser Churchill. He's an ILM soup that's based out of Sydney. And yeah, he shared that with us on one of our conversations. And it's absolutely true that, it's each stage of it, but it really is so important for the work that you do on set. So I represented ILM as on-set visual effects supervisor, working under our overall visual effects soup, Jay Cooper. And it really was a close collaboration between Gareth Edwards, our director, James Klein, our production designer, and then Jay Cooper, the other supervisors at ILM, the whole team. Gareth originally traveled to a number of these locations, so Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Japan, a couple of years before we even started principal photography, and he put together a sizzle reel. So he traveled to these locations and edited this footage together, then brought that back to ILM. He approached John Knoll, who he had worked with on Rogue One, and they assembled a team to start integrating futuristic structures, monk robots, sort of some of this tech and some of this vision that Gareth had been dreaming up. into these shots to be able to provide a visual to the production company, to potential actors, just to whoever Gareth wanted to pitch, that, okay, along with the script, this is what the thing looks like. And so all of that prep, the team really benefited from, because there was so much work that had already been done. So now we were refining and continuing from a place of, wow, we know this world that he's trying to create. I love the artistic sensibilities where Gareth knew he was drawing from sort of Sony Walkman and PlayStation, Sega. You see some of those 80s influences in the robots and in the simulants, those more advanced versions of robots. And Gareth, sort of his pitch was, well, imagine if in the 80s we kind of kept that style, that Akira vibe, and then continued to build on that. And so the work that Gareth did along with James Klein with those designs, really refining them, then getting the whole film shot and then edited together before committing to the visual effects, I think was a reason that we could really just put a lot of energy into sort of what this shot should look like, and let's just start iterating and making this thing look amazing. On set, it was a close collaboration between myself and Gareth and our DP, Oren Sofa. And I think we really benefited from Gareth having this visual effects background. So we had a shorthand. He understood when you really need to put a lot of energy into, okay, you need to, Andrew, capture the lighting information. You need to take these measurements. You need to do scans. And when he would say, okay, no, it's fine. We can just sort of do a projection. We can just put some 2D up there. And he didn't fixate on things that weren't important. So Gareth knew where to put the energy and what would be sort of most important on screen. So it was a joy going through that whole process. But I think the preparation and then having a partner like Gareth and then working very closely with the ILM team throughout is what makes this movie so special.
Amazing. Oh, I can't wait for like the BTS, like behind the scenes stuff. You know, those special Blu-ray features. I'm one of those guys because I'm a film industry cat that just goes into the in-depth and watches that. I would love to be a student with you and learn all what you did on this. So one of the other things I saw, again, I'm not following you on IG now, so I won't stalk you, Andrew, but one of the things that brought up in another interview is lighting. Again, as a film cat, and that's very important with the work that you do. Yes. What was that like? And you guys were all traveling to all these different countries and doing this, but you can't control natural light. So what was that like? And I'm just curious from that perspective with what you do and just all of that, because it's so important as a creator.
You're right. It's absolutely important. With light, you have nothing. Without light, you have nothing. So starting again with Gareth Edwards and sort of the approach that he set, the example that he set. Gareth is a documentarian at heart, and he actually shot documentaries back in the day. And so he would lean into sort of the organic change in nature of a scene. And so if weather is coming in, if we're losing light, he wouldn't panic. He would see, okay, how can I lean into that and take advantage of that? So there's a naturalism to it on that level. Oren Sofa and I worked very closely together. We would have conversations every day. We would talk about what kind of light setup he would use and how that would impact the shots that ILM would be taking on. Gareth shot on the FX3. That there's been some conversation about that, and that actually is very sensitive to low light, which meant that there could be a very small footprint when it came to the light that was being brought into the scene. And so often our best boy, Nancy, would just be sort of slightly out of frame with an LED light, just sort of bouncing it off of something. And as Gareth moved around, then Nancy would follow him, and then they would, and Oren's watching on the monitor, and they would just be able to craft these beautiful shots with just sort of one little LED bulb. So it was beautiful to see. Having those conversations with Oren, we would be able to sort of establish, okay, there's going to be an explosion here on this helicopter at this moment. This is going to happen. Yes, ILM's going to enhance the explosion, but what can you provide for me on set? And so we had triggered an LED light that would illuminate the faces of the actors who were on that vehicle, so that we would get what we could in camera, and now we're just enhancing it. And that was often the conversation about, okay, a police car is going to go by. So Pitai Smith, our gaffer, and then his team, maybe they were sort of on like electric bike or something, electric scooter with an LED light that would drive by and just try and, sort of impact the lighting on the characters so that the goal was always, let's get as much as we can in camera, and then we'll add on top of that. And Gareth was really a big proponent of shooting. I mean, that's the reason he went to all of those locations, to capture the natural beauty of those spaces, and then adding those necessary visual effects elements on top. But yeah, you're right. It was a constant conversation with lighting. It was a great collaboration where we could talk about, okay, I've got this, and then, you take care of that. And I think that's really what makes it work and feel so naturalistic.
Amazing. Andrew, I could talk with you for hours because I just love the craft of film. I want to thank you personally from everybody for giving us the candy in eye candy, because you made it sweet. It was so amazing. Let me remind everybody, The Creator is in theaters right now. Go check it out. See why it's such a sci-fi epic. Andrew, it was a pleasure chatting with you. I'd love to chat with you again as you continue to deliver us some great eye candy.
Okay. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's have another conversation at some point. I look forward to it.
A pleasure chatting with you, Andrew. Andrew Roberts, y'all, The Creator, in theaters right now. It's your boy, Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World.
Shipley, it's Howell. Answer the phone. Shipley, I know you're there.
Colonel.
Taylor, where's Shipley?
I'm with him right now. He's in pretty bad shape.
All right, listen to me. Did you locate the weapon?
Yeah, it's here. I'm with it.
Describe it.
It's a kid. It's a kid. They make it into some kind of kid. That's
the weapon.
What?
Colonel, look,
I can't reach you. You have to
bring it to me. Do you understand?
No, Shipley can't move. I mean, he's not looking good at all.
Police are everywhere. I don't know how I'm getting out right now. I don't even have an exit strategy right now.
Then you know what you have to do.
Kill it.
What? Look, Colonel, How?
Wonderful. Excellent. Awesome. Let's have some fun, Andrew. I appreciate you.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you, brother.
All right, here we go in a 1, 2, 3.